Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NVC Remote Showcase. My name is Russ Frodhardt. I'm one of the academic deans here at Northwest Vista College, and we're excited to give you a preview of what some of your classes are going to be like this upcoming fall. To make sure that everyone's safe in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, we will be teaching all of our courses online during the fall semester. The campus will still be physically closed, but we're open for business, learning, and teaching. And that's what we want to show you a little bit of what it'll be like tonight. You may have heard that some of our sister colleges like St. Philip's and San Antonio College are holding a few face-to-face classes, but it's not going to be the case at NVC. We're going to hold all of our classes online in the fall. You may have also heard the term remote used for a lot of things over the past several months. We're using that term to refer to online classes that are regularly scheduled, just like if you were coming in, and meet at the same time as a face-to-face class would meet. So you'll be required to meet with your instructor, conduct class discussions, sometimes even do assignments at the specified time for the class. You can find out about your class setup in your syllabus, or when you log on to Canvas and look at your courses. Please do this before classes get started. Look at your syllabus and the Canvas shell. Your instructor will have a Zoom link for those meetings for the class. It'll be posted in Canvas, and there should be a schedule in the syllabus. So that'll allow you to get into the Zoom platform just like you're in now. I'm sure you're all pros at it now. It's been a while, but it'll be at those scheduled times. We're doing our best to create what the class would look like if you were actually there. So it's really important for those remote classes, those synchronous classes, to be there and participate as much as possible. So some of your classes are not going to be in that format. Some of you are used to the asynchronous format, and that's when they're, for people who are juggling lots of different things, can't meet at specific times. Gives you a little bit more flexibility with the coursework. It also means that you take on an extra responsibility as a student. So your professor will be available and they can guide you through the course and answer questions, but you won't be seeing them as regular as you would in the remote format. In fact, it's really important to be in communication with your professor for all of your courses, especially now that we're mostly online. If you have questions, let them know. They have virtual office hours. Please drop in. Make sure you know how to submit your work, check your grades, check out Canvas. Canvas also has a mobile app, so if you haven't set that up on your phone, that can be helpful, as well as the notifications on your computer. One last thing before we start getting into the demonstrations, I want to encourage you all to use NVC's academic support services. They're available to you just like they would be if you were coming to campus. We have tutoring, library and research tools, advocacy and counseling services, IT, the computer help desk, and staff and student success that are available to help you out. They're available by phone. A lot of them have Zoom links that you can just drop in, or you can schedule an appointment. You'll have a chance to meet some of the people on those amazing teams tonight. They're going to do a couple demonstrations along with our fantastic faculty members who are donating some of their time to give you a glimpse into their classes tonight. So I just wanted to say welcome. We really want you to be successful while you come to NVC and are learning virtually. Thanks for being a part of the Vista family, and I'm going to pass it over to Professor Uresti, one of our instructors in math.
Thanks, sir. Hello, everyone. Like Dr. Frodhardt mentioned, my name is Yvette Uresti, and I'm one of the math faculty at Vista. And the best way for me to show you what it's like to take a math course remotely with us is to pretend that you all are one of my classes tonight. So let's say it's the fall semester, and this is a Tuesday, Thursday night pre-cal class. Class would be composed of a combination of lecture with guided practice, incorporating systems from the course, whether it be Pearson My Math Lab, WebAssign, or Alex. In addition to that, opportunities for you to work to practice both individually, independently, and also cooperatively with your classmates, whether it be in our Zoom class meetings or outside of our Zoom class meetings in an activity or assignment in Canvas. Very important to reiterate, Canvas and Zoom are going to be the two biggest systems that we're going to be using for classes. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And for tonight's class, if we're covering section 8.3, solving trig equations, I would start off by pulling up the set of notes that we're going to be using to cover this section. And you can see here that it's a blank set of notes. And by the time we cover section 8.3, whether it be however much we have scheduled on the calendar for it, whether it be one Zoom class meeting or 1.5 class meetings, our completed notes are going to look something like this. Okay, so this is an example of actually one of my spring pre-cal classes. After completing section 8.3, you can see all the work that went into these set of notes for that particular section. Keep in mind that these notes, I would have provided them to you before class in Canvas. And so some of my students would print out the notes before attending class and fill them in as they followed along. Others would fill them in electronically using a tablet, and some would even just take regular paper and do their notes that way. It doesn't matter as long as you're attending your Zoom class meetings, taking notes, asking questions, and participating in class. So for my classes, I also like to incorporate the platform that we're using for our assignments. So for pre-cal, we use my math lab. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a preview of the homework that actually goes with section 8.3. And so you can see I pulled up problem 17, and this is like a preview of that homework. And the reason I do this is because there's a cool annotation tool in Zoom that we can use to work out sample practice problems from section 8.3. And this is useful because it gets you acquainted with the system, My Math Lab, whether it be My Math Lab or WebAssign or Alex. And it also helps me show you how to utilize the different tools available to you within that system. So we're trying to solve this trig equation based on the conditions. How are we going to do that? So we would practice together. I would give you opportunity to practice individually and also cooperatively with your classmates, whether it be in a Zoom breakout room or maybe in an activity or assignment in Canvas. Okay, so that's pretty much in a nutshell what to expect for a math remote synchronous class, the different tools we're going to be using. But what happens if you're struggling with your class, with your math class, you're not understanding the material, or you have a question? Let's say you don't understand how to solve this trig equation and you need some help with it, but you're not able to meet with me during my Zoom virtual hours. Well, in a little bit, Miss Caroline's going to talk to you about our labs. Okay, so I hope this gives you an idea of what to expect in a math remote synchronous class at Vista. I'm going to stay online in the next 15 minutes to answer any questions you might have in the chat. Feel free to also reach out to the math department if you do have any questions, and also your instructor. They're more than welcome to answer any questions you might have. So stay safe, and we hope to see you in one of our math classes in the fall. And now I'm going to pass it along to Ms. Caroline Kay.
Thank you, Yvette, and thank you guys for joining us tonight for the first ever remote showcase. We to share with you guys and tell you a little bit about some of the services that we are going to provide to you this fall semester remotely, free of charge. We have lots of tutoring services available for you, and we hope that you take advantage of them. My name is Caroline Kay, and I am the Academic Program Coordinator for the English and Reading Labs at Northwest Vista College. And tonight I am joined with a couple of my colleagues from some of the other disciplines as well. We have Richard Crabb here from Science. I'll let them introduce themselves, and then we'll kind of give you a glimpse of what a tutoring session would look like on Zoom. So Richard?
Hi, I'm Richard Crabb over here from the Sciences. I also we also have tutoring assistants for for us in also with like 3D animation, game development, some of your health science courses, and of course also engineering. So if you ever have any questions in any of those areas, you can find us online, and you just follow the Zoom link. It's a simple click. I'll hand it off to Deb in math.
Hi, my name is Debbie Rosenthal. I'm here to represent the math labs where you can find some wonderful tutors, and they are there to help you. So I hope to see y'all there.
Awesome. Thank you, Debbie. I know sometimes it can feel a little bit intimidating to come in for tutoring, especially in a remote environment. You might have certain issues with your background. Maybe you're worried that your house is too loud or you've got kids there, but seriously, we're all in this together and we're all kind of in the same boat. So don't worry about it. Just come on in. That's kind of our motto. We're literally one Zoom link away. Your instructors will post our tutoring Zoom links on your Canvas pages. So we'll have hours of operation. It's literally like a tutoring room that you can walk into. So you can walk into these Zoom rooms. We'll have tutors available to help you. You can pop in with short questions that you might have, or if you have longer questions or things you want to cover, we will be more than happy to assist you. You can always just pop in to say hi as well and see how it works. Like I said, we want you to succeed, and we want you to definitely enjoy the experience of an online learning environment. So we want you to know that you are not alone, and that Northwest Vista College has provided all the support that you need to have a successful fall semester. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys soon. And now I am going to pass it over for you guys to see a quick demo from Sciences with Professor Eric Madrid.
Thank you. All right, so there we go. I'm Eric Madrid, and I teach in the science department. This semester, I'll be teaching courses in evolutionary biology and genetics and anatomy and physiology. And we got lots of courses that we offer, obviously, so that's a good sampling of what we have. And so to kind of show you an example of what our classes might look like, I'm going to start by sharing my screen so that you can see where I am. And so in our courses, everything is going to be online. We use Canvas, obviously, to post all of our material. And a lot of times in my courses, I like to use small groups. I think that working in small groups is really good. It gets you talking about ideas. In science, we have a lot of vocabulary. And so it's really useful to talk to people about what it is that you're doing in class. And so, all your assignments are going to be posted online, so from the beginning of the semester exactly what it is that you're going to be doing. Like we mentioned earlier, it can be pretty overwhelming to keep clear with all your deadlines, but Canvas will remind you, what is due when it is due. And so in my course and in all of our courses in the science department, we use our standard, our PowerPoint presentations. And so in Canvas, we've got all of our notes. And so we'll have your standard PowerPoint stuff. But on top of that, a lot of us like to make tutorials. And so we found that there's certain ideas that students might struggle with. Every semester I got to talk about this thing, 15, 20 times because it just takes a while for people to learn. And so many of us have YouTube channels where we might make tutorials about what it is that we're talking about in class. So that way when you're, at home and you're like, I know that we talked about that in lecture, but I just need to hear it again. These things are available for you online so that you can go back and kind of get that short middle video, reminder. This video here is 6 minutes. I was just checking to remind you of, what it is that you talked about and hear it again. And so these are the sorts of things that you can be doing outside of class. This is what we sometimes call a flipped classroom, where you do a lot of just the, learning the words on your own. But then when you come to the class, and we meet for lecture, a lot of times I like to use these small groups to solve more difficult problems. And at the beginning, when, we're all doing everything at home, that seemed like it might have been difficult, but Zoom has a lot of really cool features that we can use inside of class. And Zoom is letting us still work with small groups. During class, our students can design their own tutorials and they can make their own videos that they upload, and that's their assignment. And inside of these videos that they make, they're modeling how particular things happen in science. In this example I got, this is actually from this week. This is what a student turned in this week. She's showing how moss, so little green moss plants, how they make baby little mosses. And so how do they sexually reproduce? So she's got some stuff from around her house. She's got a Easter egg and some popcorn and a bunch of glasses and cups. And she's using all the proper vocabulary to show how these plants are able to reproduce. Here's another example also from this week. She's got a plastic plant from her aquarium and a bunch of pieces of paper that she cut out where she labeled what particular processes are happening. And she's able to show, how these plants are able to reproduce. And I show you how to upload this. It's not as challenging as it might sound. It's Google tools that a lot of you guys already have, you maybe never have used. And so we can use this to discuss with each other what we're doing in class. Finally, our students can still communicate during class. And so we can use these breakout rooms to take quizzes together. I actually recorded this during class today, just showing how I can go from one breakout room to another one where there's small groups of students working, where they're talking to each other. And they're taking a quiz together. They both see each other's screen. You can see they're just talking back and forth about the assignment that we have for the day. And so it's not like you're all by yourself in a room, lost, not knowing what to do next. There's still a lot of student-to-student interaction, with myself included. And there's many resources are available so that you can make sure you're not feeling overwhelmed in class and be successful. So that's science. And I believe next I am turning it over to English.
Hi, y'all. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Good. All right. My name is Marisela Barrera, and I'm with the English department here at Northwest Vista College. And we're so happy that you're here with us tonight, and that hopefully you'll be joining us for your remote learning experience when we start back up in the fall. So I'm going to share my screen real quick, and we're going to get started with some topics for tonight. And so this is live interaction. All right, so NVC English department. So what do? We have a lot of different types of classes that can be composition to literature to also some technical writing classes. So depending on your major, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be writing for every single major. I guarantee that, okay? So we're here to guide you to find your voice. We're going to guide you to discover, actually, topics that mean something to you, also through our research process. And then we're also going to, of course, demystify, this is one of my favorite topics to share with students, the idea of breaking through writer's block, because I find that some challenges that students enter the classroom with me include writer's block and also procrastination. All right, so we're in this remote onda, but just like our science department said, there's ways that we could interact with each other and build a community. So for me, that's really one thing that's really important to me, is building community within the classroom. And so the way we do that is by the way we start class with check-ins. So we check in at every class, and it could be a simple, like name a positive and negative. And so we get to know each other so that we could build some sort of trust, especially when we get into our research projects and we start to build research groups where we find information relevant to our topics. Part of the class remotely, we also do quick writes. These are to basta, writer's block, and that just means to work through our ideas and put them actually down on paper. So that's why I like to do that in my classes, the check-ins, and we form groups that also work in breakout rooms with certain topics depending on the research that we're doing for that particular semester. And then what we also do is something I called flash presentations, just like we're doing here actually in this Zoom meeting, where we get to visually also tell our stories with each other and then also ask questions. I love to use all the features of Zoom, which includes the chat and includes the reaction, all the emojis that we see in the bottom, the breakout sessions, the polling. So there's all sorts of cool devices that can help us build community, for one, and then two, create a really sort of trust learning environment where you can break through writer's block and put your ideas down on paper so that you could have some success with your writing and learn that. So depending on what class you're taking, I'm going to show you a demo of what one assignment that I do with my 1302 classes. This is argumentative writing. The whole premise of that class is everything's an argument. And so that's what we aim to do. Part of that is proposal writing that we actually do in class. So I'm going to show you a way that we build community is also looking into San Antonio as our community. So the Awesome Foundation is an actual nonprofit that's has chapters worldwide and has a really active chapter right here in San Antonio. So we're lucky to come into our website here and go into the San Antonio chapter. This past semester, over the summer, I actually had the founder and the executive director of the Awesome Foundation here in San Antonio come to our classroom. And so one of the major writer's blocks when it comes to proposal writing for this is actually coming up with the idea. That's a challenge. So I encourage students to find their inspiration by taking a walk, by stepping away from the computer, and actually, reading some background information. And with this case, I had a guest, Claudia Duran from the organization come in and sort of offer us examples of different proposals that were successful. And so what this nonprofit does, they issue $1,000 grants every single month right here in San Antonio. So if you have an awesome idea, you could apply and perhaps grab your $1,000 and implement your project. So it's sort of like a real world project and then sort of filtered into our classroom. And so I just like to continue the positivity here. So make San Antonio a little more awesome and make Northwest Vista a little more awesome with all our creative ideas out there. And so that's one example of a writing project that I actually do in class that I'll continue to build on next semester. The actual Canvas module course that we do, I do use this and utilize this a lot. These are called modules. They're sort of like units. The way I break them down in my classroom is week to week so that the students have like a home base they could go to for different topics every single week. And so they're able to get links to videos, get links to articles, get links to reminders for readings and things like that. So I keep this online, and it actually serves as my agenda for the class when we meet virtually. Of course, cameras on becomes like a way to actually, sustain and actually build that community within the classroom, which I think many students appreciate, especially during this really strange times and challenging times that we're in right now. Another thing that major project that we work through, of course, we do a lot of writing. Hello, it is a writing class, but I like to make it engaging and actually fun and interactive. And one of the final writing projects we do is academic writing, which is our research project. Of course, we learn about the certain style of writing, which here is MLA, which you don't have to worry about now till you get to your classroom for English, but that's what we utilize. And we also utilize all the campus resources that are now online, like BrainFuse, which is a tutoring service that's completely accessible online. We love the labs. We love the labs here in the English department, and how much they help the students find their voice and also revise, learn the craft of writing, because it's about revision. And another online resource that we use, ladies and gentlemen, is the library online. And you'd be surprised at all the resources there are for our students and our faculty right here that have translated seamlessly into our online library. And this is my time to pass the baton over to the library. So we're going to go to Librarian Rose, who's going to go ahead and show us a little bit about that library services. All right. Thank you all so much, and I hope to see you in the classroom real soon, the virtual classroom.
Thank you, Marisela. That was awesome. At Northwest Vista, we have some amazing faculty, and the students are so great. My name is Rose Rodriguez. I am one of the librarians at Northwest Vista College. And welcome to remote learning at the library. I'm so glad you're here. I'm a little purple. I don't know why. I have no idea. It's not usually like that. So what I'm going to do is do a little a tour of the library homepage and let you know that the library is here for you. That is our main thing, is to help you succeed in your classes, to make things easier. I remember when I was in college, being in the library, but one thing I have to remember was not asking for help. It takes a lot of courage to go up to a librarian and ask for help, especially when you don't really know what you're doing. You might have a little clue, but it can be challenging. So I'm here to let you know that we love helping you, and come to the library, even though it's remote. I'm going to show you how you can access all of our sources. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so here I am on the Northwest Vista. I forgot to put my timer on. Great. Okay, the Northwest Vista homepage. And to access the library homepage, you will navigate to menu. It's on the right-hand side where that big purple little hand is. And then ACES login. Right underneath the ACES login on the right-hand side is the link to the library. There's a couple ways to get to the library. That's the one that I always remember. You can also Google NBC Library and it will appear on the results page. I recommend bookmarking that page and having it saved. So a couple things that I do want to point out on our homepage. The first thing is chat. So I'm going to scroll down. Since we are remote learning, you will have the option of contacting the library for help by chat, which is this little speech bubble. It says chat now. You can ask a librarian a question and it will pop up on our monitors, and it's a really quick response. So that is one way to contact us for help, is through chat. You can also text us, and that information is towards the bottom, and you can send us an email. During hours of operation, that is when we'll be available to answer you through chat. Our current hours are showing right here, but we do have extended hours, and during the semester, we are open on Saturdays. So remember that. I'm gonna go back up, and you will notice that search bar that says One Search. That is our library catalog, where you have, it's a great starting spot to look for books, ebooks, especially ebooks. We have a huge ebook collection, art articles that are free for you as a student. If you use Google and you come across an article that's really good for your assignment, and it says $29.99 with a paywall, copy and paste that title into OneSearch. Most likely we have access to it for free. If we don't, let us know, send us an email or chat, and we can find it for you. We also have streaming video, and we have some great magazines. The one thing that it will ask you is to type in your NVC credentials, which is your ACES ID and your banner number. And then once you do that, you will have complete access to any article or ebook available. Okay, library resources. I'm going to point out a couple of things here. Databases. This is where you'll find a list of all of our databases. We subscribe to over, I believe it's 200 right now, on every subject. And I will not get into that, but you are welcome to explore it. So when your instructor says, look on the library databases, this is where you will find them, under library resources. Citing sources, the purple button that's highlighted, is going to provide you links to helpful websites as well as Noodle Tools. And Noodle Tools is a free citation software that you can use as a student that will help you with your sources. And it practically does it for you. It's amazing. I use it. If you need help setting up an account, let us know and we can walk you through it. Okay, and I got library modules. Sometimes your instructor will assign you library modules. This is where they are located on the home page. You don't have to do the quiz if your instructor doesn't assign it. Research guides, I'm going to come back to that one. I'm going to scroll down to, there's a couple of other things, how-to videos, but under library services, we have Book a Librarian. So a great thing, a great service that we offer is one-on-one instruction with a librarian by appointment. So if you have a busy schedule, which we all do, you can schedule an appointment with a librarian for 30 minutes or even an hour, and we ask you a couple questions, you fill out this survey, we send you a link, and it's a Zoom appointment. And it's very quick, very user-friendly, and I love helping students through the Book a Librarian. It's my baby, so I recommend it. Okay, and I went over hours. Next thing, I'm gonna go back to research guides, and I just wanna show you a couple things. So on our research guides, we create guides based on, it could be on an assignment, and it could be on a course or a subject. Sorry. So I just want to point out a couple things on the top where it says NVC Library Quick Guides. This is a great starting place to look for if you need help with using Zoom, Overdrive, accessing library resources and services. And so what we do is we create guides that will help you find all the information you need on that assignment or that course. So all the ebooks, all the databases that pertain to that subject. The chat will be located there. Helpful links that we provided for you that we did. We looked for credible outside websites. So quick preview. This is what it looks like. And I do want to show you one more thing. We have Flipster, which is amazing. We have a bunch of magazines that you can access for free, and they're beautifully digitized, and they're current. So just search for Flipster on our databases, and there's a variety of magazines to choose from. Also, I want to point out, we do have a lot of ebooks, like I mentioned. We also have Overdrive, which is a platform that we have where it's so easy to download an ebook, and it will send it to your device. If you don't have an e-reader, that's fine. You can read a book on your web browser or your phone. This is just a couple of things, a couple of books that we have added to our collection recently. And like I said, it's very easy to download. Overdrive ebooks do download to your device. Any other ebook that you can find in our databases will not. It's just going to be a digitized ebook or article. Librarian. Oh, also follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we have a really great blog, and those can be found on our library homepage towards the very, very bottom. Follow us so you can keep up to date with news, new books, programs that we're offering, since we do have virtual programs to offer you, and it's exciting. So like I do a meditation one. We're going to be doing workshops on research strategies or Noodle Tools and citations. So we are here to help you the library is the heart of the campus, and like I said, we just want to make your life easier, and I'm so excited that you are a part of NBC, and I hope to see you, and I hope to see you in a Book a Librarian session, and I am going to pass it along to Liz Wright, who is one of our instructors for the psychology department, and they use the library a lot, as well as Marisela Barrera classes. I'm so excited. So let's see. I am going to stop sharing. Thank you.
Thanks, Rose. My name is Liz Wright, and as Rose said, I am from the psychology department. Rose, we had a question in the chat about using Libby for libraries. Do we use Libby?
Yes, so Libby is like, it's the same as Overdrive. It's the same platform, so yes, Overdrive.
Awesome. Okay, so this showcase is going to walk us through some of the different ways that our instructors may teach their remote classes, as you've seen. So math is using lots of different functionalities, biology is using lots of different functionalities. So my classes, and I teach social psychology and personality psychology, my classes use Zoom as well as Canvas, and then also some outside resources. I do a lot of polling. And so that's one of the things that I'm going to show you in our short little class. So first thing I want to do is I want to share my screen with you. And so we will pretend like it's the first day of class and we are in our social psychology class. So let's first talk about what psychology is. So I'm a psychology professor. What does that mean? Psychology is a science, much like your biology, your chemistry. We use the scientific method to test hypotheses about behaviors and mental processes. Mental processes can be things like sleeping, memory, attitudes we have towards public figures, anything. In social psychology, a type of psychology, we study how the presence of others influences the individual's psychology, so the individual's behaviors and mental processes. So for example, if you walk into a store, you forgot your mask in the car, how do people look at you? How would you look at that person who forgot their mask if that was you? How is the non-mask wearer perceived by other people? And what do they think about that non-mask wearer? So if we're the person who's not wearing the mask, we may be getting looks from people. If we're the person who's observing someone not wearing a mask, we may have negative thoughts about that person, when in fact, they simply forgot their mask in the car. We've probably all done it before. So this is all social psychology. So when someone else is involved and it influences our behavior, social psychology. So first thing I want you to do is I want you to jump into the chat box and I want you to tell us what you did recently at some point today that relates to this definition of social psychology that I have in front of us. So what have you got? What did you do today? Okay, Renata ate dinner with her family. Okay. Did you eat food that you cooked at home, or did you eat what my son calls out food? Tim says he cut the grass with a mask on. Okay. Renata says my husband ordered in. Okay. So, hey, Tim, when you were cutting your grass with your mask on, why were you wearing a mask?
So I want to see what my neighbors are going to say.
Okay, so Tim's going to be talking after me. Tim talks about mass comm and mass communications, and I will say that our fields are very similar in that as scientists, we appreciate and understand and find entertaining sometimes the reactions to our behaviors. Yeah? Would you agree, Tim? Yeah. 2 thumbs up. Okay, so Pat says, I interacted with my dog. Does that count? It totally does. So social psychologists actually do study how humans and animals interact. So one of the research things that we've been looking at the past couple of months is how does having a pet impact our stay at home? And a lot of people who have pets have indicated that their mental health has been better than people who do not have a pet to do the stay-at-home orders with. So all of these are great examples So one of the things that social psychologists study is how smiling influences our own behaviors and how it influences the behaviors of the people that we interact with. And I remember when the suggestion to wear masks first started, I remember thinking to myself, like, how is this going to impact how people perceive the face? Because when we are, as humans, and this is an evolutionary thing, this is an anthropological thing, we look at the face in order to figure out, is this person a threat? Is this person similar to me? Is this person friendly? And so Mariah says she's getting over the stomach flu and ate soup. Rachel watched TV. Nice. Rachel, was your TV choice influenced by something that someone had suggested? I know a lot of times my students tell me that they have a list of Netflix queue from suggestions from other people. And I'll do it. I'll go on social media and be like, okay, I just finished this set. Like, what should I watch next?
Yeah.
So it did, Rachel, it did?
A little bit. Yeah, my friends encouraged me to watch certain shows, and well, another show is going to come out tomorrow. I don't know if you all heard. What is it? I'm sorry. The Umbrella Academy.
Yes. Should be season 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. Very cool. Renata says, I'm glad I have wrinkles because when I smile, wearing the mask makes people know, or it makes people know that I'm smiling. Yes. So this was one of the things I was really kind of interested in finding out once we started wearing masks, is because we can't see this area anymore, we're really relying on this area. And social psychology research tells us that we have to look there to see if the smile is real or if the smile is fake. So let's take an example. Okay, so here's this picture of this guy. I pulled it off the internet. Let's do a poll. If you click on the link here, you can actually go to the poll. And so which one do you think is the fake smile? Okay, so which one is the fake smile? A or B? Let's go to the poll. Oh no, I have a really bad feeling that I asked which one's the real smile on the slide. And this actually happens while I'm teaching too. There'll be times where I'm like, wait a second, I asked the wrong question. Okay, so the question on the poll says, which one is the real smile? So that was my bad. And so is A the real smile or is B the real smile? Let's take a look at our results. Uh-oh. And that's okay. So if we take a look at what's going on here, we can see that well, what are the differences in the smiles? Let me ask you that. You can feel free to go into the chat box and do it, or you can, okay. So the eyes, okay. Sandra says the eyes, Debbie says the eyes, exactly. So, we've got both areas here are upturned, indicating that the person is smiling and not a threat. But if you look at the eyes here versus here, when you smile for real, the corners of your eyes go up. Now, I always tell my students that they can either be a social psychology Jedi or they can use social psychology for the dark side. So it's quite possible that you could look like picture A on purpose, even though you're not in the best of moods, because you now know that these muscles here, and I'm not going to go into the technical name for them because y'all don't want to hear about that right now, but these muscles here are the ones that actually indicate whether or not it's a fake or a real smile. So if you wanted to fake people out using social psychology, then you could actually do that. Okay, so we talked about that. So next up in our remote demonstration is going to be Tim Molina. And like I said, Tim talks about, and Tim teaches classes about mass media, mass communication, which is actually something that I studied while I was studying social psychology too, because like I said, they literally go together so well. So I'm going to, Rose gave her information in terms of social media, and I wanted to do that too. So if you have questions about social psychology or taking a social psychology or personality psychology class, here's my email. And then I also have a professor Facebook page where I share articles and all sorts of different information there too. Okay. So I would love to hear questions from you. I would love to chat with you via email. And like I said, I am going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to pass it over to my friend Tim. Thanks, y'all.
All right. Thank you, Liz. That was awesome. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Molina. I teach mass communication. I also teach speech communication. So what I wanted to share with you is just primarily how a course would work in mass communication when you take it as a remote sort of live in the moment class like you would on campus. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you, and I just have a slide and perhaps just a couple of things that I wanted to preview for you to give you a better sense of what you'll be getting into. So the introduction to mass comm class is usually what we teach. We also offer an advertising course and a course in media writing. And so there's still availability there as well. And we have a mixture between the what they're calling synchronous, which I like to call real-time learning, versus the asynchronous model where it's anytime learning and it's very formatted to, for somebody who has a very busy schedule, as Dr. Frodhardt was mentioning. So a lot of the things that Mr. Madrid was talking about in terms of how the course is run, we do the same things. We have Zoom as well. We use breakout rooms in mass communication, really to build relationships with each other, because that's something a lot of times is not afforded in the anytime format. So the synchronous format is basically an opportunity for you to come to class like you would on campus, but rather we're gonna do it via the remote. So basically just a couple of points here. What traditionally we do, because mass media is just insane, it's like the chaos of the world. Like if you open your Twitter feed, that's what we study, right? So everything is constantly changing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm sure several news stories have broken since the time we've been Zooming together. So it gives us an opportunity to come in fresh, provide maybe a news brief, which we usually will do to kind of serve as our icebreaker to get us going in the general Zoom room. And what we usually do, because we've had a lot of opportunities to build our courses, we have videos that I'll preview one for you just to kind of show you how we house those. And basically what it is, it's an opportunity for you to watch something. Maybe we assign a movie, or maybe your favorite music or song that you want to listen to, and we're going to bring that in for analysis. And usually it's done most effectively working in pairs or in triads or with a group of 4 in order to build our media literacy skills, right, and our critical thinking skills. So that's basically how the course goes. And like I said, a lot of the content is brief overviews of anytime content that you may have read before, such as being in a traditional course where the professor says, okay, next time we're going to cover chapter 3, read that or watch this and make sure that you're prepared. That's essentially how we do it here. But it's an opportunity for us to gather, come into the same Zoom meeting like you did today, but then be issued a certain room with folks to work on something that's a lot of times really creative in mass comm. What we do is we do some active learning in virtual small spaces. And these projects a lot of the students will do it's in reference to everything that you're already doing on your phone, right? So if it's something that a content creation assignment, maybe you have to do a Snapchat public service announcement about wearing a mask or whatever it is, that's usually the kinds of things that we will do as a breakout, and then gives you the opportunity to actually get that published on our news site, which we just started last spring. In addition to that, you can obviously publish it on your own platform because that's obviously something that we now have the opportunity to do is to use our platforms to engage our audience, and we ourselves are the gatekeepers. So mass media is changing every day, and so the real-time format is so important for us, and it's imperative that we keep it going. And even during a pandemic, as I keep telling my colleagues, teaching mass comm is never going to be the same after experiencing this episode that we've been in for the last 3 or 4 months. So just kind of a briefing of what we do. If you're really interested in this, I'm gonna pause my screen share here because I know I learned that I gotta reshare to get to another screen here. So I'm gonna go into my Canvas for just a minute and just show you some of the anytime content that's built in. Again, you'll be taking a course that's preferably going to meet, say, Tuesday, Thursday, 9:30 to 10:45. That means I got to, get logged in, get on my computer, because we're going to have a real-time class session. But what really affords you the convenience here is that I like to record a lot of my lectures as well. And so you'll see me use this, and particularly with Canvas, I embed some of these videos in the modules for the week. So I'll say, hey, we're gonna be in this module this week. Here's the next piece of content, and make sure that you watch it or you read this, and for the purpose of being in a course, right? We have a textbook, and obviously that's how things go. But that's going to give you a chance to really engage on your own. Maybe write down some questions that I'm asking you to look for, or things to consider. And then when you come into the live session, it should be fairly easy, because if you're prepared for what's to come, you'll be able to share your experience. And for a lot of us, it's pretty engaging when we all are watching the same episode or the next thing on Netflix, right? So what we like to do is we like to give a lot of free content out there, and really it's accessible to you through the library services, which you heard about. We utilize a lot of the library databases, the video databases. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I kind of gave up a little bit on the Facebook, but that's kind of more on a different subject. But we try to utilize those platforms as well that you're in, so that way it feels like, hey, I can really relate to this stuff because I'm using it every day. So our courses are designed, like I said, to as primarily as a flip version, if you will, where you take a look at something, read it, analyze it yourself, and then come in and be able to contribute to your small group discussion. And then usually what we'll do is we'll come back to the general form and continue to build some on those relationships that we're missing so much, being face-to-face with each other. All right. I do have a podcast. I will share the link in the chat with you. It's another project that we did. I'll just kind of sneak peek it for you here really quick. But these are just some of the assignments that I have, and this is an opportunity for you to use technology like Anchor. It's a free app, and you can actually record with somebody else, as an interview, for example, and you don't have to be in the same space. So we use it to stay connected, and we use the real time to build our relationships with each other in the meantime. All right, that's it for me. I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Teri Dimas.
Talk about making connections, right? So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to tell you guys what a kinesiology class kind of looks like as we're working through the fall remotely. What I'm going to demo today is going to be Kines 11, 12, or a 21-12, which is one of our weight training classes. We know that right now during this pandemic, we've got a lot of restless bodies. We need to get up and get moving. And we want you guys to understand that through a weight training class, we're going to teach you about muscular strength, muscular endurance. We're going to cover body composition, flexibility, cardiovascular fitness. These are all the components to health and fitness. So you'll learn this stuff as we go through. It's not just going to be the activity, but there's going to be some knowledge-based information that we're going to go ahead and cover. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to show you what a workout regimen might look like. And if you don't have a set of dumbbells, that is not a problem because we modify for everything. So we're going to start off with a basic squat, a basic primal movement pattern. So focusing on the hinge at the hip and the knees. Bring the shoulders back and down, keeping the chest open. Inhale as we're coming down, exhale as we're coming up. So looking at both the eccentric and the concentric movement patterns, trying to get an understanding of what's being worked, right? So feeling the quadriceps engaged, feeling the glutes engaged, and then understanding not just the movement pattern itself, but how can I make this particular exercise a little bit harder if I don't have a set of weights? We'll look at frequency, intensity, time, and type. We'll look at combining exercises. So going from that squat into that squat with the curl into a press overhead. And so now working through compound movement patterns. So it looks like my music's a little low right now. I don't know what's going on with that, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna work through this, right? We've got to adjust. And as we're playing with these movement patterns, we're working shoulders, core, quads, glutes, full body. From there, rotating, again, a hinge at the hip. Focusing on the back muscles next. Inhale as we come down. Exhale as we're pulling, working that back. Inhale down. Exhale, pull. Inhale down. Exhale, pull. So we do this together. Now, if you have a resistance band, you would be working there, right? And if you don't have dumbbells, that's okay. We will find modifications for those same movement patterns in that particular muscle group. So, next exercise we're going to look at is a basic run. Another primal movement pattern, focusing on knee and hip movement, as well as the ankle mobility. So looking at that, keeping the chest up, focusing on not an excessive forward lean, but really trying to get an understanding of not just what we're doing, but why are we doing it. Trying to get an understanding of what muscles are being worked and how we should set these workout regimens together. Right now, it's hard to stay motivated. It's even harder to stay motivated when you're by yourself. So we are doing this together. Tim talked about connections, trying to get a class in together and working out together. So again, taking that lunge, we can go curl to that press, or we can work it by itself in those sets and reps, and then taking it to the next exercise by itself in those sets and reps. And remember that we're modifying. We're here to help you. So as we go through, we'll talk about frequency. How many times out of the week are we meeting? Twice. That doesn't necessarily mean you're only working out 2 days out of the week. We can help you program for days that you're not with us. What's the intensity? That's going to depend on what you have accessible in your home. Tim also talked about small spaces. Hey, this is where we're at today. We are working out in the garage, but we're in this together and we're going to get it done. We look at the type, looking at your equipment, being able to modify for that, and then looking at the time. So we take that through, we'll work out those workout regimens, and then we teach you how to develop your own programs. But guys, it gets better than that, because you can turn this workout into credit. This is an academic class. So if your degree has room for electives, if your transfer bachelor degree has room for electives, this class can help you reach your end goal of graduation. So turn that workout into credit. Remember that we're in this together, right? Focusing on those movement patterns, looking at good mechanics, and understanding the why behind what we are doing. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get ready and turn it over to no one else but Valerie. She works in student success and is one of our awesome enrollment specialist coaches. Here she is.
Thank you, Teri. So like Teri was mentioning, my name is Valerie Acosta Vasquez. I'm an enrollment coach with Vista Central Welcome and Admission Center. So I help students with their, as their prospective students. So meaning this fall semester is going to be your very first semester. So I want to go over important things as far as things that still possibly need to get done before we can start classes on August 24th. Right here on my screen, is it sharing? Can I get a thumbs up if you can see it? Let's see, let me try that again, sorry. Here we go, okay, awesome. So the biggest thing, if we do have any prospective students in the audience who have not applied yet, the deadline for classes beginning August 24th is this upcoming Monday, August 3rd. So you wanna make sure you apply as soon as possible. You can apply online on Apply Texas, which looks like this. It's a free application, so you wanna make sure you're getting that in, really nothing to lose. The application takes about 20-25 minutes to complete. It's all information you will know, biographical, education history, name, addresses, all that stuff about you. If you don't have an account with Apply Texas, you would create one on the left-hand side first, which is your profile, and then you would actually complete the application within the Apply Texas application. Like I said, this Monday, August 3rd, is the application deadline for classes, 16-week classes that start August 24th, and your Flex 1 classes that also start that same day, but end a little bit early in October. If you're possibly thinking about taking Flex 2 classes, which begin in October, you can still apply now. We actually encourage you to apply now so you can get everything ready for those October classes as well. Next thing on here that I do want to mention on our main website, if you have already applied, and let's say you're a prospective first-time in college student, all first-time in college students are required to attend new student orientation. So it's very important that we're signing up for new student orientation, or NSOs, we like to call it, as soon as possible. We only have about 2 weeks left of new student orientation sessions, and we want to make sure that we get into a date as soon as possible. So I want to make sure that we're showing you how you can sign up for that orientation. So on the right-hand side of our website, you're going to just click on Menu, and then go over to Admissions and Aid, and then How to Apply. On this side here, there's a couple things I want to point out. As you can see, we have our virtual Zoom chat as well. So till the end of August, we're actually on Zoom live every day. As you can see, our hours are listed here, Monday through Thursday, late night till 6:30 p.m., on Fridays until 4:30, and every Saturday until through the rest of the month from 9:30 to 12:30. So we're very, very available. So I encourage you to join our Zoom chat. If we do have any prospective members in the audience today, I would make sure to join our Zoom chat actually tonight. We do have some staff members if you do need to ask any questions or just to find out where you are in the enrollment process. So you can join the Zoom chat there. If you scroll down and click on the first time in college students, remember only first time in college students are required to attend new student orientation. So click on first time in college students. And then on this site, it's gonna go ahead and let you know a little bit more information. On the left side here, you're gonna select sign up for new student orientation. On this page here, you can see the sign up for new student orientation link. And then it's gonna take you to the new student orientation dates, as you can see. And so depending on which date you would like to attend, like I said, you can see these are the last orientation sessions that we have. So you wanna make sure you pick the earliest orientation as possible. You can see the start time and the end time. During the new student orientation session, it is going to be virtual just like this. So you're not going to go to campus or anything. It's going to be virtually online through Zoom. You want to make sure all your enrollment steps are completed. So to make sure that they are completed, again, just join our Zoom chat and we can verify that with you. So once you click a date, you just click register and then fill out your information there. Depending on making sure your enrollment steps are completed, we just want to make sure, because if not, we may ask you to reschedule. So it's always better to find out for sure before you pick a date. If you fill out your information, remember your banner ID or your Alamo College's ID number begins with a 9. So you should have that information on your record. If you don't know that information, again, join our Zoom chat. We can always help you find out more information. You're going to go ahead and click that select that information and then hit submit. So you'll click that, and then you'll get a confirmation email. Usually the day before your orientation or the week leading up to your orientation is when you'll get that email to your ACES student account as far as when to join the Zoom link. So you want to make sure that you're getting that Zoom link and you're selecting it when it's ready to be able to go to the orientation. Let's see. Another thing I wanted to mention is our Instagram page. On the main admissions website as well, we do have an Instagram page as well to follow along our social media and just making sure, you know, that everything is up to date as far as deadlines. That's the biggest thing, especially in the admissions enrollment process there. Another thing I wanted to show y'all is the academic calendar, how to access it. Self-registration deadline ends August 16th. And so if you're a transfer student and this is your first semester, you can self-register up until August 16th. If you've attended orientation recently and you need to still make some schedule changes, you still have until August 16th to do that. You would just click on academics, academic calendar, and then on this website, you want to make sure you're selecting the fall 2020 semester. And then it has different deadlines as far as the application deadline to remind yourself if you haven't applied, self-registration deadline, financial aid when it gets dispersed, registration deadline, and then also about payment deadline. The hardest part I feel like with enrollment is students are super hard to get into those classes, but then unfortunately don't make a payment or their financial aid hasn't paid out. So we want to make sure that all of that is taken care of by your payment deadlines to make sure you're still staying in secure classes and that you will be a wildcat this fall 2020. Let's see, was there any questions through? I know I kind of went that a little bit fast. Let's see. I'm not sure how many prospective students we might have, or some current students in here, or students who maybe haven't attended orientation. I do see one student that I think I've helped through our Zoom chat before. And so, like I said, we're there every day. Definitely visit with us. They are live there now. So if you did have any follow-up questions after attending orientation, definitely visit with them. Other than that, I guess I will turn it back over to Caroline.
All right, everybody, we still have a few more minutes to go. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. We still have lots of faculty and staff here on the Zoom. So if you guys have any questions, we're open for them. I haven't seen any on the chat, but feel free to unmute yourselves and ask us any questions that you might have regarding classes, labs, library, support services, or any of that good stuff, and we will do our best to answer them.
I don't know. This is, might be a weird question, but for classes and scheduling them, when is the last day to schedule classes, I guess?
Yeah, I can take that, sorry. So have you already attended orientation? Normally at new student orientation is when you will be advised and register for classes. So if you haven't attended, definitely schedule a date soon. If you have already attended, you have until August 16th to self-register. Go in there, change days and times, add drop, and so on.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem.
And we see a question saying, when will we see our classes on Canvas, from Deborah? Usually your instructors should put up their classes at least a few days prior to the start of the semester. So I would check in once you're enrolled in the classes. They should pop up pretty soon. Instructors may be still working on their courses and finalizing them, but keep checking at least a week or so before the semester. You should be able to see those as well. I don't know if anyone else has another answer, but, and I see we have another question about the support center. Where can we access it? Is it through the MVC website? Are you talking maybe about the academic support? For the academic support, it is through the website. We have our chats directly, we have our Zoom links directly on a lot of our websites. You can get tutoring through those Zoom links, either going through the website or through the Canvas links. And I can also, I'll put some of the links for academic support services here in the chat as well, so you can access it, but usually your instructors will post it on their Canvas link too. Hope that answers your questions. Any other questions? Like I said, please feel free to unmute yourselves, ask away. We still have maybe 2 or 3 minutes of questions remaining. And if not, you can also, of course, put it in the chat too.
Hi, my name's Molina. Has there been any type of adjustment to fees or tuition because of COVID?
I can answer that a little bit, and if anyone else wants to chime in, but the tuition rate has not changed. Even before, when we were back on campus, your tuition rate didn't vary based on the method of the instruction. So it's all based off of your residency and how many credit hours, whether they were online or in person. So there's not a change in the tuition. On our website as well, you can go to the Paying for College link, and it has a tuition calculator so that you could base off of your residency, which would be in district, out of district, or maybe out of state, and estimate how much your tuition would be based on credit hours and residency. But the method of the instruction does not affect your tuition.
My question is, the combinations for testing, who do I speak to?
Is this for your TSI exam or testing with your classes?
Classes.
Hi there. I've just posted a link in the chat for you to our access office.
Access office, and I can post a link to the access office as well. I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is Julie. I was just saying the same thing as you, Caroline. I just posted a link to our access office in our chat for you. So if you need service in that area, please feel free to follow that link, and it'll take you right to the right people.
Yeah, you can speak to Sharon Dresser. She's our she's in charge of the access office, and she is fantastic. She'll get you the accommodations that you need, both for your class and for the tests in your class. And all of that good stuff. Just follow along with that link Julie posted below. She is amazing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hi, you're very welcome.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for taking time out this evening to join us. Thanks to all of our faculty and support staff for joining us and making these awesome presentations. Please don't hesitate to reach out to anyone that you saw here this evening, or visit our website, and we'll be happy to provide you with more information about how to register and join us for the fall semester. We really look forward to seeing you. Thank you.